Hello everyone! Today we're going to talk about JavaScript variables. Understanding how to declare variables correctly is super important for writing modern and strong code. In JavaScript, there are a few ways to declare or create variables. We'll look at three keywords: let, const, and var. First up is let. You use let when you have a value that you expect to change while your program is running. Next, we have const. You use const for values that should stay the same after you set them the first time. Think of them as constants. And finally, there's var. This is an older keyword. For new JavaScript projects, it's best to avoid using var. So let's look closer at let. You should use let when you know a variable's value might need to be updated or changed later in your script. What's special about let? You can give it a new value after you first set it. You can also declare a let variable without giving it a value right away. If you do this, it will automatically be undefined until you assign something to it. Now let's talk about const, which stands for constant. Use const when you have variables whose values are set once and should never change. This makes your code easier to predict and helps prevent mistakes where value might be changed accidentally. Key things about const. Once you set a const value, you cannot change its value. If you try, JavaScript will give you an error. You must give a const variable a value when you declare it. You can't leave it empty. Let's briefly discuss var, the legacy keyword. Before 2015, var was the only way to declare variables in JavaScript. Like let, var also lets you reassign values. However, var works differently when it comes to something called scope and hoisting. These differences can often cause unexpected problems and make your code hard to debug, especially in bigger projects. So what's the recommendation? Do not use var in modern JavaScript projects. It's much better to use let and const because they have clearer rules. Knowing about var is mostly helpful if you're looking at older code or some old tutorials. So, how do you choose between let and const? Prefer const by default. Always try to use const first when you declare a variable. This helps make your code more predictable. Use let sparingly. Only use let if you are absolutely sure that the variable's value needs to be changed later on. Abandon var. Remember, var is outdated for new projects. Stick with let and const. Always declare variables explicitly. Never create variables just by assigning a value without using let or const. For example, writing my variable equals to 10 without let or const before it. Doing this creates scalable variables, which can cause problems. Alright guys, thank you for watching. We'll dive deeper into let and const with more examples in separate videos. It's going to be a lot of fun. See you there.